On this week's Xamarin Show, I have one of my best friends in the world, Jeff, on. Jeff, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about Refit, which is an automatic REST library for .NET.
It's amazing. You don't want to miss, so tune in. Welcome back, everyone, to the Xamarin Show. I'm your host, James Montemagno, and today I have my good friend Jeff back for the second time to talk about some awesome open source libraries. Now, people may not know who you are, Jeff. They may not have watched other videos, so maybe give them a little overview because you're really big in the open source community.
Cheers, James. Yeah, so I'm Geoff Huntley. I maintain quite a lot of open source software. One is the reactive extensions and reactive UI. You probably are using my software. Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about not that, actually. It's I was going through a sample recently, and this library, Refit, which I've heard about for years at this point. I think Hanselman even told me about it at some point. And you're like, James, you know, like I kind of work on these projects, like I'm in town, I want to talk about it. So what is this Refit thing?
Yeah, so Refit is a HTTP, it's a way of automatically generating a HTTP client.
Okay. So I'm used to like new HTTP client. Like, is that not automatic enough?
No, it's not automatic enough. So there's a lot of boilerplate when you're creating a REST API, and a client for a REST API. And Refit is a way of actually automatically generating a client for a REST API. So instead of just creating a lot of boilerplate, what you do instead, you just create a interface and you put annotations on top of the interface.
Okay.
And it will automatically generate all the boilerplate that you would normally do by hand.
So I'm used to today essentially saying like, okay, here's my object, like here's my data representation of it, new HTTP client, call this long URL, know how to deserialize it, know about my headers, like my auth keys, all this stuff. And it's like it's gotta be around like, 10, maybe 20, if you're handling exceptions, maybe 50 lines of code. So it could be a lot, right? It's a lot for every call.
For every call, all that serialization, like converting it from JSON into an object, handling the retries and all that, that can be all automated. This is what Refit's for.
All right, cool. You want to show me the code? Let's go into it.
All right, so yeah, Refit is an open source project. It's available on GitHub. If you go to GitHub, reactive UI/Refit, you'll find the project we're going to be discussing today.
Now, is it part of React? Do I have to be using reactive UI?
No, you don't need to be using reactive UI.
Okay.
But we expose, because reactive extensions or reactive programming, you have observables and tasks. Refit has the ability to either return a task. If you have a single value over time, you would return a task.
Okay.
But if you have multiple values over time for some sort of SignalR type API or streaming API, you might want to return an observable.
Oh, okay, very cool. Nice, so it's kind of fit together if you're using them together. All right, cool.
So it takes no dependency on the reactive extensions. It's just the natural home because it's used a lot with reactive programming.
Got it, cool, awesome.
So yeah, quick shout out to Scott Hanselman, who did a blog post on Refit like 2 years ago.
Very cool.
And I'd like to take this opportunity to actually go through the code and actually show what a implementation of Refit looks like.
Yeah, totally. And I'm even reading this blog post that says .NET Standard, so I'm assuming any .NET application, Xamarin, desktop, anything.
Anything.
Cool. All right, let's do it. Yeah.
It's quite literally an interface. You add a NuGet package to your project, and then from there, it does all the code generation for you.
Cool. Let's do it.
So let's do it. So over here, I have a just standard .NET Core application.
Okay.
But you could use this for anything. You can put this in your net standard library and be using Refit.
Oh, cool.
So you add the reference for Refit as a NuGet package. And I've also added a reference for Serilog, that's just so for logging.
Okay.
And the way Refit works is, this is Refit.
This is it right here. So I see
this is just it.
A cat API. I like cats.
Yeah.
I'm a dog person mostly, but it's a pass. I like mostly when I'm on a Teams call and cats walk across the keyboard of my coworkers. That's probably my favorite part of cats. All right, so what am I seeing here? This looks magical and amazing.
Yeah, it's magical and amazing. So what we're doing is we've got this API, the cat API.
A great API.
Which is a great API, right? You send a request out and you get cats back.
I like
it's
that.
Perfect, and you can filter on the type of cats.
Oh, cool.
So we've got an implementation here which allows you to filter on the type of cat. So if you want to filter the breed of a cat, this is all that's required. So on the 10th line, you'll see that there's a headers annotation.
Yeah, I see like these are I'm used to a lot of got to create different string headers and pass in different arguments and things like that. What is this X API key thing?
Yeah, sure. So the CAT API requires a authentication request. Like you need an API key to use this API.
Sure.
And with Refit, how it works is you're essentially just decorating an interface with annotations. And on line 10, this headers, what it's actually saying is for all of these calls with this API, make sure this request header is on there.
So if I added another 15, different, I have gets, I have patches, I have posts, I have all the things, right? I could put those in there, and then that API key will trickle down.
All the way through, all the requests.
Nice.
But that's not the only way you could do this. Well, we'll get back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
But yeah, so here we have a CATS API, and we need to search for a particular cat. So we have the annotation that specifies that it's a GET request, because this is a GET request. We specify the URL, but we don't specify the full URL. We just specify the relative URL.
Okay. So so /v1/images/search, which I'm assuming you got from the CAT API.
Correct, and I've got this from the documentation. Then we define what the interface does. In this case, it's a task. We're only going to return a singular value. Okay. If we need to return multiple values over time, we would probably use an observable and bring in the reactive extensions. But we're just searching for one cat.
Okay.
And we're looking for a particular breed. And that's all it is. So we have a task, and we specify the shape of the return object. So that's a breeds response.
Yeah.
And then we can add aliases, for example, for breed identifier. That actually gets concatenated into the annotation on top.
I see. So usually I'm used to when I create that big long URL that's RESTful service, I sometimes have to do and key and this ID and that thing, and it becomes this long crazy string. So is this breed ID that identifier then inside the?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So it's a query parameter.
Oh, and then that way you can just set breed identifier to anything.
Correct.
But if they matched, if it was just ID, would you have to do that?
No, you wouldn't need to.
Oh, cool. There's no.
Yeah, so this is what alias as is.
Oh, cool.
It allows you to have an alias of what it is. But if it was just breed identifier, you wouldn't need that attribute as well.
Yeah, very cool.
And you can actually turn this into a completely typed request and response. We'll go to the documentation and have a look at Nanotick. But that there is Refit.
Nice.
Like, you define your interface, you define your methods, and you define your request response types. And that's it. When you hit compile, it generates everything for you.
So it's all compile time. So it's not like a big overhead then of my app size or anything like that. It's just generating the code for me.
It's just a code gen.
Oh, interesting. I thought maybe it was doing crazy other stuff under the hood. I didn't know it was just kind of a code gen. That's nice.
Yeah, it's just a code gen. So you normally define an interface, and then you define a service that hosts the interface.
Okay.
So here we have a CAT service, and the CAT service takes in a configuration parameter, the base URL. And this is where we can specify we're using the production CAT API.
Oh, I see.
Or we could switch out the URL to be a developer instance.
That's why you don't put that full URL in it, right? You're just specifying the relative path back in the API.
That's exactly it. That's why we use the relative path, not the fully qualified path.
Got it. Perfect.
That allows us to switch it out. So yeah, so we instantiate a HTTP client in that hosts the reference for the CAT service. And then from that point forward, you can just kind of start shaping your API.
Yeah.
If you want to search, so we've got to search for a particular breed of cat, and it's just bringing back.
That's it. One little tiny method, search, done.
That's all. It's all done.
Now, what happens if an exception gets thrown here?
So,
let's say the internet's down, for instance.
Yeah, if an exception is thrown here, then it will throw to the caller.
Okay, so just normal stuff happens.
Just normal stuff.
Because it's an HTTP client.
Yeah, so
and an API.
What a lot of people do for retries is somewhere around here, like right at the top, they normally have like some sort of retry policy, and they bring in Poly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Poly is an open source project for circuit breaker patterns and retry policies, etc.
Ah, cool.
So normally what someone would do is in the service, they would configure a default configuration for what to do if there are exceptions. And there are certain times when you do want retries to occur, maybe a get, but maybe for a put or a create operation, maybe you don't want, or post, you don't want to actually do retries because that could create multiple things on the endpoint.
Got it.
So yeah, you normally create a write there a configuration for your retry logic, and then on each one of your individual methods, for example, on line 30 there, you would configure in the policy. You wire in the policy if it's going to retry or not.
Very cool. Wow, that's pretty nice.
There's actually something magical on line 24 there.
Yeah, I was going to notice that this isn't just a new HTTP client with nothing. I see some handlers, and I love HTTP handlers. It's like this magical thing that people they don't know until they need it, and you're like, wow, that's just built right in.
Exactly.
So maybe people don't know what it is, so maybe tell them what it is.
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people don't know HTTP client can actually, it supports you can chain together middleware.
Kind of like in between, like before and after the calls happen, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like a pipeline which requires interception.
Yeah.
So in here, what I'm doing is I'm configuring my own custom message handler.
Cool.
And as we go into the implementation of this, you'll see it's just something that hooks when I'm sending a request to my end API service. It's just going to log how long it took.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that means no matter where I use this client or other place, I've got a single source of truth for logging and telemetry. And we normally see a lot of people when they're defining, they'll have some requirements. Maybe they need a correlation ID. So they might have a correlation ID HTTP message handler, and that could be chained into Refit.
Oh, cool.
And you can have things like back over here, you see the API key. Well, maybe you don't want to bake the API key into the assembly.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to defer that. Or maybe you want to conditionally apply it. You can create a HTTP message handler for all these type of things. Normally people have a message handler just for handling auth scenarios or retry. Some people work on the basis of let's just define the retries in a singular place.
Yeah.
And they use a message handler for that.
Oh, very nifty. It's cool that you can just kind of chain all these together. And it's actually no different because this, handler is no different than other handlers that I've created in the past. It's exactly the same code. So it means you can reuse all your code.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. But it simplifies. I like that interface. And so it's an interface, though, that we're creating, but we're not actually like implementing the interface, correct?
We don't implement the interface.
Okay, got it.
We don't implement the interface, but there's a REST client 4 of interface, and it's what's used to code gen.
Got
so
it.
this is the end outcome.
Got it.
This is the end composition here. We have a CAT service. We're specifying the URL, which means we're delaying that decision to the last possible moment, so we can switch in something like a dev environment versus a production environment.
Sure.
We could also pass API keys down this chain if you so wanted to. And then we get into the service. To answer your question particularly, this is the only place the interface is used. We use the interface as a tag to figure out what to code gen.
Got it. Oh, very cool. Nice.
And that's Refit.
That's it, Refit.
That's
Done.
Refit.
We did it. Everyone's a Refit master.
Yeah.
I think I can write this code.
It's simple.
do that.
You cut out so much complexity from your application.
Is there any downside to using it?
Seriously, no downside.
None. Because it's all code gen.
It's all code gen, and it's just so simple.
Okay.
If people want to learn more about Refit, the best thing they can do is actually have a look at the API. So the documentation on GitHub.
Lovely.
And there's everything in there. Like it's fully detailed exactly what, or if you have a scenario that's very custom, very bespoke.
Yeah.
If you need to return as XML or parse XML, it's all there.
Very cool. Jeff, this is awesome. Thank you so much. I'm going to go refit all of my code now. That's what I'm doing. Weekend project. I'm into it. Well, thanks for coming on. Of course, I will link to Refit, to the blog post, to the CAT API, and also to the video that we did previously on reactive extensions and UI. Awesome. And to your Twitch page, because I know you be twitching all the time. Awesome. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Jeff, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, James.
I love it. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, do the things, hit the buttons, do the likes. You know what to do. Thanks for watching. I'm James Montemagno, and this has been The Xamarin Show. Hey, James here. Just wanted to check in and thank you for watching this video. Now do all the things that you know you want to do, such as like, subscribe, and ding that notification bell to become part of the notification squad. While you're here, check out all these awesome videos that I've already recorded. Click on that thing. Click it. Watch it. Do it.